Hey, I just had an idea. We should make a tutorial on a steering wheel.
Yeah, actually, that sounds like a good idea. We should do.
Yeah.
Hmm?
That'd be pretty good. Well, without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, guys, if you guys want to make a working steering wheel, I'm all down for it. We just need to learn, I guess. Let's go, boys. Everybody, take out your maker pens. And if you are watching this video, make sure you follow along. Alright, so you're going to open your maker pen. You're going to open your palette. Circuits V2. What we're going to need is obviously a event receiver. So get yourself an event receiver after. Alright, it should look something like this. Now, once you guys have an event receiver, this is pretty much powering your whole system. So, depending if you want your steering wheel or not on a button, on a switch, get your circuit speed to toggle button. Alright, now, take your configure tool out, configure the event receiver, and put it to a update 30 Hz. Okay, and it should look something like this. Now, like I was saying, if we want this to be like a button to trigger something, we need an if, obviously. I mean, maybe not obviously, but you know. Alright, so what you're going to do is you're going to wire the conditioning to the if pressed, okay, and the excess to the red on the event receiver. So now whenever we press this button, we are leaving an output out, okay, for the then. And if not, then we're not. So here we go. So for this example, we're going to need some tools. So like the rotator V2, okay? And we're also going to grab ourselves two vector gadgets. Now, I once heard from a wise person, always configure the vector gadgets chips, go in chip settings, and detach from object. If you don't do this, it's going to be quite laggy. So there you go. Now, once you have this, we're going to grab ourselves two vector dots. These are the rotations. If I could find them. These are the rotations. Okay, and we're going to grab a subtract. I know I'm moving a little bit fast, so feel free to pause the video in any time you would like. Subtract. And now that we have this, we can subtract the distances, but we're not just going to subtract random stuff, so we need get positions. These are all the things that you need right now. What? Position. Alright, two of those. Last but definitely not least, a get element. Okay. And a rec room. Object. Nope, not that one. It's my bad. Object. Get all tags. Let me find it. Alright. Now, let's get right into this, right? Okay. So you're not just going to have these in this direction, okay? Alright, so let's see. So first things we're going to do is we're going to make ourselves a dot. This is far from the gadgets. That's all you need. Okay, now while you're at it, you're going to have to configure this. Maybe you want it decorational and grabbable. Now, this is the only other thing. This is not a need, but this is recommended. So you get an animation gizmo and see the rotator V2. We detach from object. And maybe clone this subtract. Alright, now what we are going to do is we're going to start. So, we're going to grab ourselves an Atlan because I forgot that we need one. We're also going to need a rotation, set rotations, acceleration, I think. We're going to mess around with all these actually. Alright, so Now, what we're going to do is you are going to get the position of your rotator. Okay, subtract and get the position of this element. Now put this element through the tag. Now remember, you could pause at all times. Put them through here. Okay, and now you're going to wire these to either or, on top or bottom, doesn't matter. Okay, now with these, the left hand side or the right hand side, you could swap these if you want, doesn't really matter. I just like swapping them. Alright, now you have two results. Put these into the Atlan too, and now let's do something else right now. Let's see. Alright, so right now we have everything set up pretty much. That's literally most of it. So what we're going to do is we are going to configure this little tag, little block, cube, and put anything that we want in it. Right now, I'm going to do block. So now that block is in block, we are going to configure this tag, put block. Okay, now that block's there. Now we're seeing where this is, so this would output something. Now, we could go right ahead and wire this then to rotator set rotation, and then this target to the rotator V2, and this value to there. Now this would necessarily work, but on the other hand, it wouldn't, because these vectors are not in the best spot. So you are going to take your thing, your rotator, put it like that, bring these vectors here, and one there. Now it should work, but if it's not, that means there's other event receivers in the map. So let me see. Yep, he also has event receivers. Royal, I'm just going to steal your event receiver here. Sorry.
Okay.
Alright. So, oh, actually, never mind. You can have that because my button wasn't turned on. You guys leave me alone. Alright, so you see, this is very glitchy, and when I turn this way to the left, it's moving right? So there's an easy fix. We're going to get ourselves a multiply. Sometimes this won't happen for you. Alright, you're going to take a multiply, and we're going to multiply this value by -1. Now doing that should opposite it, but if you put this back in, it's still very laggy, like super laggy. But yeah, so here's another thing we could do. First, we want our block to stay completely still, so we're going to wire this to the animation gizmo. And then configure a 1 into this, so it's always on. So what this is doing is just resetting the block. So now that we got all this, everything is pretty much down, but it's very laggy. So this is why I saved the subtract tool for you guys. So this subtract tool is pretty much going to lag proof this. So as you see, we're at 78. To see this decimal, you always want this close to the 0. And no, you can't just put them in here like that, because that's gonna just not work, okay? So you're going to wire this, subtract value, and then you subtract this much. So we're going to press there, press there. Our thing is this number. So we're going to actually press the negative because this is positive, right? 78. Actually, we don't need the negative. 93909. Give I get that negative. Alright, now doesn't work. Wow. Maybe because I didn't wire the distance. So now we're at a pretty close number. Wire that to here. It's a little less laggy. We might be able to add a negative. That might be our problem. Let's see. No. See? So you don't want that. Now another thing that this could be is that the number's changing. Like 9390978 point. So this is actually perfectly fine. But we're subtracting it and throwing it in here. So there's a lot of things that could be wrong here. But yeah, this is pretty much it. I'm going to throw it into a rotation set speed and put it there. You guys can do that if you want. So there you go. It's a working steering wheel. If you want an update to make it less laggy, we could do that. Let's put this here. Grabbable. Actually, no, don't make that grabbable. My bad. Alright, just wire that there. And there you go. There's your working steering wheel. Hope you guys enjoyed that tutorial. It was pretty easy. Now, in the next tutorial, if we ever have one, we're going to fix it so this doesn't happen. But I hope you guys have an amazing time.